So welcome back. In the earlier video, we talked about introduction to branching instructions, and I mentioned that there are four different types of branching instruction, one being the simple if, and we also talked about a problem. I explained what is the purpose of branching instructions, where we want the computer to skip certain instructions or execute certain instruction based on a conditions. And then we talked about simple if, and we just gave a high-level list of the different types of branching instructions available in Python. So what we're going to do is in this video, we're going to talk about simple if. And in the last video, we also went over this particular example. So in this example, what you're doing is you are going to ask the user to enter the burger cost, and you ask the user to enter if the user wants to buy water. If the user says yes, and then you add $2 to the total cost and then display the total cost. Before I show you a program where I have converted this into a Python program, I just want to give you a high-level overview of how does the simple if works. Let's say you have 11 instructions here. And when you run the program, as you know, the computer always starts with instruction 1, then it works its way down to instruction 2, and instruction 3. You notice that instruction 4 is an if condition. And this is what that branching instruction, this is what we're talking about, a simple if. And the if condition here has a condition within the parenthesis. So what the computer does is it's going to check for this condition. And if the condition is true, then the computer is going to go to 5, 6, 7, and 8, right? It is going to execute all these instructions, and then 9, 10, and 11. Again, let me repeat this. When the computer starts from instruction 1, 2, 3, and checks the condition on line number 4, if the condition is true, it's going to execute all of this. And after executing all of these, then it's going to come to execute this. So now, what if the condition is false? Again, before I'm going to show you that code, but before I show you the code, I want you to think about what if the condition is false. If the condition is false, right, let's go back starting from 1, 2, 3, and let's say the condition is false. When the condition is false, the computer is going to skip all of these instructions and jump straight to 9, 10, and 11. So again, the computer in Python programming language or C++ or Java, it's going to check for the condition. If the condition is true, it's going to execute these instructions. And if the condition is false, it simply is going to skip these instructions. So that's one thing. And the other thing I want to bring it to your attention is that these instructions are called the body of an if condition. And in Python, the body of an if condition must be indented. You can use as many spaces as you want consistently, right? If you're going to indent it by 5 spaces here, make sure this is also 5 spaces, 5 spaces, so on and so forth. So this is the body of an if condition. Remember that these are not the body of if condition. How do you know these are the body? These instructions 5 through 8 are the body of the if conditions because they are indented. Indenting is key to telling Python that this is the body of the if conditions. Suppose if you don't indent if number 8, it is no longer the body of the if condition. So remember, the body of if condition is either executed or skipped based on this condition. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at this program. I have converted this, what is in a plain English. Remember what I asked you, always write, if you're a beginning programmer, write your steps in a plain English and translate these plain English steps into a Python program. So what I have here is the steps in a plain English, and now what I have here is a translated code in Python. So again, in this example here, I have, just to give you an example, I have 11 instructions, but here we have about 8 instructions or so. Anyway, so the first instruction is, it displays the message, welcome to my demo about simple if. The second instruction is you're collecting some data. You're displaying this message to the user, asking the user to enter the burger cost. And in the next instruction, you are saying, make my total cost same as burger cost. At this point, your total cost is the same as burger cost. Now, in the next instruction, you are asking the user to display this message. In response to this message, the user is going to type yes or no. And whatever the user types will go into this memory cell called got drinks. And then in the next line, on line number 6, you are checking to see if that is S, if this memory cell has the value S. And pay attention to double equal sign here. So if you want to compare what is in this memory cell with this text, you need to use, if you want to compare, then you have to use 2 double equal sign there. And so if it is S, then you want to increment the total cost by 2 because the drinks, the water is going to cost $2 in our example. So we want to increment using the accumulation. Remember, we talked about accumulation in the earlier video. So we want to increment the total cost by 2 using the accumulation. And at the end, when you come out of the body of the if condition, you display the total cost is total cost, and then you display the message. Thank you for shopping. So in this example, what is the body of the if condition? Body of the if condition has only one instruction. And you notice that the body is indented by 5 spaces. So now I'm going to quickly run through this program and walk you through. I have turned the debugging on and I put a breakpoint over here. Now it's going to ask, enter the cost of the burger. The cost of the burger is, let's say, I entered $12. That's an expensive burger. Now, computer is asking, do you want to purchase water bottle? So right now the computer is executing this line over here. And as a response to this, I'm going to type S, right? So I'm going to put the cursor over here. I'm going to type S, Y-E-S. Remember, try to type something that you are checking over here. I'm checking the word S with a capital Y, lowercase e and S. So try to type the same one here. Otherwise, it won't match. We'll get into those details later on. So I'm going to typing the word S. Now, as you see, because of the breakpoint here, it stopped on this line number 6. Now, if I hover over got drinks has the word S. Does it match with this? Yes, right? So these two match. That's what this condition is. That's what this condition is. I'm checking to see if this memory cell has this value. Whatever the user typed over here is now sitting in this memory cell or the variable. Now I want to check to see if what is in this memory cell is S. If it is S, the computer should go over here. Let's see if the computer goes over here. Now I'm going to click on step over. You see, the computer reached over there. Right now the cost, total cost is $12. Now the computer is going to increment it by 2. Now after this, the total cost is $14. So now we came out of the body of the if condition. Now we're going to step over. Your total cost is 14. Step over. Thank you for shopping. As you see, it collected all of this data and then it checks the condition. In our most recent run, the condition was true. So the computer went into this body of the if condition and then it came out of the body of the if condition, executed that line and that line. Now let's try to run it again. This time I want the computer to skip this, right? So in order to skip this, I'm going to type anything other than S. So let's run it again. Burger cost, let's say $9. So the computer is right now over here, right? Do you want to purchase the water bottle? Say no. So it stopped over here because of the breakpoint. Now, if I hover over total cost, it shows 9. Now, if I hover over got drinks has the value that I typed over here. Whatever the value that I typed over here arrived in this memory cell called got drinks, as you can see. Do these match? Obviously no, right? The contents of this memory cell does not match S. Now, do you think the computer is going to go into this line? Obviously no, because it is going to skip. Now watch over here. it skipped this line, and your total cost is still what? 9. So here the total cost is 9 displayed it, and then. So thank you for shopping. As you noticed that depending on what we typed, the computer either went through this line or skipped through this line, right? And again, this is an example of simple if condition. And in the next video, we will talk in detail what is this if condition, the syntax rules, and what is this, all of that. Thank you.